Well, Kathy, welcome to Monex, to this cozy studio.
I am delighted to be here. I love your offices. I've had a wonderful time speaking with you and your CEO.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Okay. For the benefit of the audience who watch you for the first time, can you please explain what disruptive innovation is?
Yes, disruptive innovation is technologically enabled and usually transforms the world in a way that surprises people. Mm-hmm. It may be the impact of the change or the speed of the change.
Can you please give us some examples?
Sure. The biggest one we think is almost here, and we've been expecting it for a while, is the robotaxi or autonomous taxi platform opportunity.
Which will be announced on October
10th. Tesla is going to give us a much better idea about how it is going to go to market. It is very interesting to watch Waymo, which is owned by Alphabet. It is now starting to move into more cities faster. And I think that has lit another fire under Elon Musk because he's really intense about this. He, in his first master plan, thought that we would head in this direction. And finally, we are here. So what this means is we're going to take the driver out of the car, and we think the cost of transportation is going to continue declining, increasing the access,
availability
of taxis. So Tesla is going to unveil its robotaxi on October 10th and is going to tell us more about the strategy, how it is going to go to market much more quickly than even Waymo is now. Waymo started slowly, it's speeding up. But Tesla's competitive advantage is it already has 6 million robots. They're called cars. I have 2 of them, a 3 and a Y, and they are roaming the world, capturing data to feed Tesla's AI engine. Waymo doesn't have anywhere near the data. And we think proprietary data is the key to success in almost any AI project. And this is the largest AI project on Earth. And I put that out on X, and Elon said, yes.
Because you mentioned Robotaxi Day, there's a chance that he talk about the Optimus,
the humanoid robot. I think he's very excited about Optimus. There are several now working inside Tesla, and I think he's very pleased with how those are going. And so I think what he'll do, yes, he'll talk more about it. He seems to talk about it at every...
He wants to talk about
it. And because it's seeding the interest and also helping analysts understand how much more productivity will be able to increase inside Tesla. And then at some point, he may evolve a platform for humanoid robots, just like he is for robotaxis. But he's going to start internally first and maximize the productivity and the expertise around humanoid robots before he moves them externally.
Can you envision a situation where his robot may be working in your home, helping you on the household matters?
Yes. Actually, Sam Corris, our director of research on autonomous technology and robotics, has done a study about the potential robots both in the home and in manufacturing. And he thinks the markets are going to be roughly the same size when they're scaled. So the potential is a little more than $12 trillion each, both for humanoid and for manufacturing. And we're already seeing humanoid robots making coffee, folding shirts. This is Figure AI, which is a company we know very well, and it's in our venture fund in the U.S., and we were able to go and watch this happen. So these humanoid robots are becoming much more agile and flexible than the robots we're used to seeing, who have been either in cages or rolling on some big block device. These are walking around, and the dexterity in their hands is becoming quite remarkable. And it's controlled mostly by actuators, which are really treating the fingers like puppets, and they're perfecting that. So it's very exciting.
Considering the fact that his companies are launching rockets to space at a very, very reasonable price, and also have a communication satellites all around, all over the globe, how sophisticated would his robot maybe compared to, his competitors?
I think his robots... Well, a company like Figure AI, its sole focus is on humanoid robots. So I think they're moving very quickly. I think because Tesla is already expert in the three major technologies,
which are
robotics itself, the actuators and so forth, but energy storage. So these are battery powered. And AI, they're AI powered, just like a robotaxi, right? So robotaxis are going to be more expensive. Humanoid robots will be less expensive. And I think robotaxis are almost paving the way, because the way technologies scale quickly is when units increase that enable these technologies. The robotaxi market is enabling it. Robotaxis are robots. They are battery powered, and they're also powered by AI. So he has got a big head start because his whole model in Tesla is already there around those three technologies. So yes, I think very sophisticated. He knows where he wants to go. He knows what's possible because he's been working with these technologies for so long.
How good is Tesla's AI capabilities relative to others, peers?
Well, we know a lot about this because we're watching how well Tesla is doing with full self-driving. Many people thought it would be impossible to get that last mile in. They thought
get people skeptical.
Oh, and they still are.
Yeah.
They're still very skeptical. I think more people are getting convinced because Waymo is out there
on the
streets, and people are trying them out. But they're also becoming less skeptical. Anyone who owns a Tesla in the United States, where many states allow full self-driving, anyone who has that capability, as I do in Florida, I don't have to touch the steering wheel or the brake or the accelerator as I'm driving around. And I don't even have to do that when parking. It does a much better job parking than I do. Now, I'm a terrible parker, but it is doing a good job there too. Now, what's interesting about FSD, full self-driving, regulators in the rest of the world are not allowing it. And so the skeptics are more outside of the U.S. than inside the U.S. Because if you're inside the U.S. and if you've tried a Tesla or even a Waymo, just to get the idea, and you have a Tesla with full self-driving, we're almost there, almost better than human beings. And I think when we've been measuring the safety statistics in Tesla, Tasha Keeney is our director of investment analysis and also works with Sam Corris on Tesla and the autonomous side of Tesla. She has been doing safety studies. And one we did about 9 months ago found out that if you look at the number of miles between accidents for the average car on the road in the U.S., it's 200,000. If you look at the number of miles between accidents that a Tesla without FSD has, it's 600,000 miles. So even without FSD, it's safer. If you look at a Tesla with FSD, and this is really from 9 months ago, not the latest version, the number of miles between accidents is 3.2 million miles. So that's 16 times better than the average car on the road.
And the number is improving as we speak.
I believe that 3.2 million miles, if we did it now, would probably be triple of that. And we are working to update that.
How about the regulators' attitude in the U.S.?
Yes, so it's very interesting.
They need their blessings, right?
They do, but the regulators have had a problem in the United States. starting with safety measures put in place, starting with seat belts, I think in the 70s, mandatory. From the 70s through 2014-15, when we started ARK, actually, the number of fatalities or deaths from auto accidents fell each year. Starting around 2014-15, there was a sharp turn up. We went from roughly 30,000 deaths in the United States to close to 45,000 deaths. So that's roughly 50%, almost 50%. And the regulators, it's on them. What's going on? And as they learn more and more, of course, it's young people and all people texting, very distracted, multitasking. We've become such multitaskers that they were having more accidents and more deaths. So the regulators have become much more friendly to autonomous because 80 to 85% of all accidents are caused by human error.
So they know those facts.
They know
versus
those
perception
facts.
of ordinary people.
And one of the things that has helped them understand how much safer a Tesla car is than other cars is examining them after they've had an accident. They examine Teslas because there's FSD, they're electric, they're kind of new in all kinds of ways. So they scrutinize Teslas. They don't scrutinize the other hundreds of thousands of accidents, but they do look at Teslas. And when they compare Teslas to the rest of the cars out there, they're basically concluding Tesla has the safest car in the market. And that's a regulator. That's very interesting.
I see. So you are very excited about, the autonomous cars that Tesla will be coming up with, and also robots, autonomous robots. You have a model, Tesla's stock price for 2027 or 8, I forgot, which is much, much higher than the current level.
Yes.
Majority of that is coming from the cars, right? Autonomous cars.
Autonomous. That's 90%.
Right. So robotics, Optimus is not in that number.
No, we have nothing for Optimus in there. Sam Corris now is doing our work on humanoid robots. That's how we've gotten to the total of potential market out there. We think that Tesla is leading the pack. I gave you the total available market is $24 to $25 trillion. That's an amazing number. That number, just to give people perspective, is about how large the U.S. economy is right now. So we think there's, as Elon says, each of us is going to have our own robots. By the way, we already do, in the form of washing machines and dishwashers. Those are ancient robots. Humanoid robots are going to become...
To walk.
Absolutely. They're going to become much more... we won't even have to clean our dishes to put them in the dishwasher, right? The humanoid robot
And
will.
if I don't feel like, taking a dog walk, they can do it, right?
The robot will be very happy to do that.
So realistically speaking, your personal view, when would, probably it's going to first, start in the US and then the rest of the world follows. When do you think you may have a robot in your house?
A humanoid robot.
A humanoid robot.
As soon as I possibly can, just to say. I would say within the next 5 to 10 years. This is next to 5 to... I think that we need companies to perfect them inside their organizations first before. Now, of course, we already have iRobots, little vacuum cleaners. They exist, but they're not humanoid robots. No. I think because of all the work going into humanoid robots, we'll have different kinds of robots doing different things. iRobot just roams around the house and, vacuums up anything that ends up on the floor. It's kind of mindless. It's not too smart. It just bumps into lots of things. But so they'll get smarter and smarter over time. And so I'm sure companies are going to come up with variations, not fully humanoid, but more advanced robotics that will become useful, and it'll all help the movement. By the way, Japan, it's very interesting because of the demographic issues in Japan. Japan has been very advanced in robotics. And in fact, one of the reasons I love coming to Japan is because, the DNA in Japan is very innovative. It is. I'll give you a few examples.
Yes.
If we think about the genomic revolution, for example, the Kyoto University and Professor Yamanaka there is famous for his stem cell work. It's been hugely important. Robotics, Japan actually was more advanced than the U.S. in the more traditional robots that we see now in manufacturing facilities. And it will evolve to humanoid. I do think Tesla is, and Elon, he has such an innovator in his DNA as well, that he really wants to push the whole world. I think Japan will be very fast adopter in energy storage because of the limited natural resources that you've been energy storage much, much more advanced than we were in the United States for years and years. And blockchain technology, it's been very interesting. And I know that Monex has CoinCheck. I think the regulators here very early on understood the promise. I think the tragedy around FTX put a lot of regulation on hold. But I have a feeling that blockchain technology is going to sweep through Japan in a very profound way. We know when China shut the miners down, a lot of mining popped up Bitcoin mining popped up here in Japan. That there was a big movement from China to Japan. So we're pretty excited about, and then of course AI, what we're finding, and this was a lot like software as a service. I remember Mark Benioff, the CEO of Salesforce.com, in the early days of software as a service. I remember we were invested in that stock. He said, I don't know what's going on in Japan, but our sales there are growing faster than they are in the United States. So he actually spent 6 months here to study Japan.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting. So I think there's innovative streak in Japan for many reasons. And that's why I think we get along so well.
Good to know. Good to know. Thank you. I want to finish up on Tesla. ChatGPT versus xAI. It's related to Tesla, but not Tesla's story.
Sure.
Can you please educate us how different is our ChatGPT versus xAI?
Yes. I think, first of all, OpenAI, which developed ChatGPT, leading the charge, has led the charge in large language models. We've been very impressed. We're tracking performance of all of these models, both closed source and open source. And OpenAI has really been in the forefront. Now, the others are catching up, but as soon as they catch up, it seems like OpenAI, and we'll see what GPT-5 delivers, they take yet another leap forward. Very impressed there. What xAI has that OpenAI does not have is the proprietary data from all of Tesla's companies. If you think about it, you've got X, which is the old Twitter, which, that's perfect text to train AI models on. You've got all of Tesla's data. You've got Neuralink. So here we're bringing healthcare and genomic, multiomic data into the equation. You've got the boring technology, so the underground transportation. You've got space technology. So Tesla has data that nobody else has. And we believe that what will distinguish the winners from the losers long run is proprietary data. Now, OpenAI is buying data. xAI probably will not have to buy the data. There will probably be an agreement to trade services. We'll buy your data. We'll give you a large language model, foundation models. And so we're excited by the race. Those two, along with Meta Platforms, which is going the open source route, 3 of the most interesting large language model providers. We're also interested in Anthropic as well. So I would put those 4 in the lead, and we love the competition because it means all of this is going to happen faster than otherwise would have been the case.
But would you say Tesla is the only company that has a very good family I mean,
Oh,
the best,
yes.
best family in the
Best
world.
family. And what is surprising, what I think surprises people when they figure this out is that you might think you're trying to solve or build a large language model that is extremely performant in coding, let's say. And we've seen OpenAI, the coding world is changing dramatically because of large language models. The productivity of developers is exploding. But what we're learning, the more data that we put into these large language models, it almost doesn't matter what kind of data it is, because it's all about pattern recognition. And if you think about genomic data or multiomic data, that is the biological system at work. The biological system is all about life systems, right? So it's very important data, and it improves models in a surprising way.